How many people are sending nanotech
In
nano
space.
satellites? Like, there's you.
So
Is there any? Like, is there?
Yeah, there is probably the top two are a company called Planet and Spire. They got 500 nanosatellites that they manage constellations. Now there are 5 teams that are launching comms, so communication satellites for sensors and space. But they say there are around 1,000 nanosatellites that are launched every year, and it will grow up to 10,000. So
with
it's
your
space debris.
Yeah. How long it does a large satellite?
So the thing is that a
What's the
very large
time?
satellite
Yeah.
stays there for 50 years, but it's so high in the atmosphere that what they've done so far is at the end of its lifetime, they kick it out, not in. So they kick it in.
So it's just the end. Be gone.
They'll be gone. Okay. So they're pure rubbish, debris, waste. Now, because these satellites are very close to Earth, at the end of their lifetime, they get into the atmosphere again. They completely burn.
Yeah.
Like there is not even a little piece left, so they're self-disposable. So that's awesome.
So a big satellite, 50 years.
This guy's 5 years.
Doesn't the tech not like? I look at my phone.
Oh, here we are. That's the point. That's
okay.
exactly the point. You get me.
Okay, so I've got my satellite. Let's say I've got my brick phone. Yeah, back in the 80s, my dad had one. Funny enough, and then I've got this. As soon as this is a year old, I start getting edgy because it's not,
up to date. The camera is not good.
Yeah.
And
So the nanotech, nano satellites, I'm assuming are less life.
Yeah, less lifetime, and you wanna change the technology as fast as you can. So keep updating, keep launching, keep updating, keep launching.
So you don't. So the 50-year.
No, you don't want to last it 50 years. You want.
I could say the 50-year is Vodafone. That satellite out there, that's Vodafone on the 50-year tech.
Yeah,
I have no allegiance to Vodafone.
Yeah, hello, Vodafone. Still love you. But that's the concept of these new technologies. It's like an iPhone in space.
Yeah.
So, you can change things after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and keep innovating.
So I'm JP. I've got a whole lot of supermarkets, and there's a whole lot of refrigeration equipment in those supermarkets, and we do a lot of trucking in between. So I send from my warehouse into our stores, and that's not done by me. That's done by a third party.
Yeah.
So
let it go some trucks.
So I go, okay, I need some coverage. I go to you and say, I want to put in. Do I say 100 satellites?
No, you come to me. You don't want to put a satellite.
No,
you come
100
to me
nanos.
and say,
So,
no, not even nano satellites. You don't care about what is in space. You come to me and say, I want to track, I want to cover this area to know all the trucks, what they are doing and why they are taking so long.
So let's say 100 of them.
Yeah, and I say, okay, buy a couple of boxes, put a dot on top of all your supermarket. You're going to track everything in a supermarket, outside a supermarket, and there you go. And you don't even worry about the satellites or whatever is out there.
So what would that cost me? So if I was to do that for a satellite, I'm assuming that would cost me a lot of money.
No, it's super cheap. So you actually, in Fleet's life, you put a little box. So you buy a box, you put it on top of the supermarket. So you got one of our customer canners that is putting on top of all his canner store.
Yep.
And you can connect 1,000 things in 10 kilometers range. And you decide what you want to track.
So then it tracks
and it costs you $10 per year per...
So basically, anyone that's listening or watching, actually a lot of people watch it, funny enough. Anyone that's listening, watching, so you have the solution to track anything for a ridiculously cheap price.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, when I looked at your site, it was like $15 a month or something.
It's less than 3G, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wow,
and you got
I could just track something for the hell of it. So
yeah, you can track your kids.
Ollie.
You can track Holly. Holly, what were you doing yesterday? We saw you. You were for 3 hours. You're not there. Were you getting a beer or something?
So I thought, I could just track Ollie, and it'd cost me like $15 a month.
Yeah.
That's amazing. The cost of that is obviously you're a volume game. We're a volume game in the supermarket industry.
Exactly.
You're clearly a volume game. So
Holly's like, what is going to happen to my privacy?
Okay, so here we go. So we're very aware that we're lucky enough to have the current trends in South Australia, and space being one of those. I'm very lucky to have someone like you in in South Australia, especially specifically Adelaide. Adelaide cops a lot of shit for not being progressive and whatnot.
No, it's amazing now.
And when people talk about it now, it's like, we have unbelievable food, unbelievable wine. We're now space, we're defence, we're technically setting ourselves up now for, and it's sort of scary because a lot of people are coming to live down here. Warehouse managers moved down from the Gold Coast. He goes, oh, it's actually not bad here. And I'm going, yeah, no shit, mate. Don't tell anyone. The reality is that we are in a good space in regards to what's going on with some of the bigger industry, and I'm happy to say that it's been quite competitive in the retail market, and I'm all for competition, but the way Audi got let into town was ridiculous. It was a bit too much red carpet, and it was really easy for them to, which hurt a lot of retailers out there. So Kaifland not being in town has been a good thing for the majority of obviously the people that had jobs at Kaifland. Very disappointing, but in general, it's helped. That decision is going to bolster up what's happening in South Australia, and it's really good to see that you're now an Australian citizen and now super excited to be forming part of some of the most exciting things with the space agency. I noticed Mr. Trump started to talk about a space force.
I know.
And I've read a fair bit about that. When people start wanting to organise a space force to waste lots of money, it's becoming a scary thing because they're running out of things to fight against. What do you think you could be the chief commander of the Space Force?
Yes, anytime. The Space Force, very Star Wars-ish, so, it's hard to comment. What I actually believe, though, that eventually if we're going to live in Mars or on the moon, this is like 50, 100 years plan, I don't think we got any plans about that, We don't know how the laws going to be.
Yeah.
We don't know if a baby is going to be born there.
So one thing that I've learned that no one actually owns the moon.
It is a moon treaty that says that no one owns it, no one can exploit it. So, there's few activities that you can do on that, but it's not exploitation, so not resources for commercial activities.
So China's got approval to look, because they've obviously landed their rover. It's probably called something else. It's probably called a Chinese rover.
A Chinese rover is a great name, JP. Great name. If you were in charge of naming the rovers, it would be fantastic. Okay.
But they obviously have got their rover there. I don't hear of anyone landing there. And is it because there's nothing there?
So no, the moon,
why aren't they?
The moon is interesting because it's so most of the complicated things go to in this deep space is because getting out of the atmosphere is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Okay. 90%, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, but 70% of the fuel that needs to get out just to get out of Earth. So the gravity is different in the moon. So it's a better station for deep space mission. So it's gonna be our station, literally, for us to work in deep space. Otherwise, it costs too much to do all those missions from Earth. There is not much in the moon, but there is a lot of water. Yeah. I believe that most of the things that we will learn,
how to live underground, or
it's a lot of things that we learn. But the moon is interesting because it's really hard to get out of Earth. Earth has got a very strong atmosphere, so the rockets will be very powerful. So you need to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, to get out.
But
once you're out, you can fly.
Yeah, from the moon is easier, So they're gonna build 3D printing, rockets, and all sort of stuff.
So that's exciting. So if you could be a space superhero,
yeah,
what do you think you would call yourself? Sorry, this is real. I totally just made that up. Then I'm curious because I've got one more question after this.
A space superhero.
Yeah. I mean,
so
Rocket
power,
Woman, that would be... No,
that would be... My power, so the power that I would like to have if I was superhero, and then we find the name for the power. So what I would like to do if I was a superhero in space... Actually, I would like... It's super bizarre.
I'm up for it.
You're up for it. I would like to get very, very, very close to the sun.
Okay. Like land on the sun. Like,
It's the
actually
sun.
touch
It's
the
very
sun.
hot.
Well, you're
So,
superhero. You can touch the
so
sun.
if a superhero, I can go into the sun and understand what is going on. I will be,
Like re-energized?
yeah, something like that, and I can bring,
Like earthing?
yeah, something like that.
This is a modern day earthing. That's awesome. I have never. No one's ever talked about being like on the sun.
It fascinates me when I see all those explosions
Yeah,
that come. So
or
it's
the
not really a
solar-
planet. It's a full of explosions.
There's
of
solar
things.
flares.
Yeah, I love it. So I would like to be a solar flare woman.
Okay, done. Solar flare woman.
What
And
do you
the
think?
thing that blows me away with the sun is, if the sun like disappeared,
We'll be all be dead.
how long would it take us?
1 second.
Oh, I thought it was like that many light years away.
I don't know. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not so far.
ah.
It's not so far as you think.
Okay.
But I love, the other day I was playing with my daughter and we were doing a game. Would you prefer a word, if you have to choose, a word without music or without color? Without rain or without
Okay.
sun?
Wow, that's a good game.
And I'm like, would you prefer a word without sun or without rain? And she's like, without rain. And I'm like, the word will die soon without rain. She's
You
like,
need
without
that.
sun. So she's like, kind of for her to understand everything is needed.
That's a
you
good.
know?
So,
That's a good
would you
thing.
prefer a world with JP or without JP?
With JP. Okay, with JP. Without you, all the supermarket will be full of plastic. In the next 20 years, I will be in trouble.
All right,
Okay.
you've hit me up for that. And there is one question that we do ask everyone that we've had. And if you were to die, heaven forbid, and you came back as a board game,
As a board game.
what would that board game be called? I can tell you mine.
My God. Why do I have to die to be called a board game?
So it's a commemorative thing. All right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I'd come back as Scrabble, because you never know what you're going to get, and sometimes what I say is very useful, and sometimes what I say is not.
Totally useless.
Yeah.
Useless.
Yeah.
I would be Risk.
Is that a game?
Yeah.
Risk?
Risk is the one that you conquer the you know Risk?
No, he
Come
does.
on, what
All
did
he
you
does-
do in so Risk is the one that got a map of the world and you need to move it with your track. No, what's the name?
Yeah,
you need
I
to
got it.
conquer the other
I got
thing.
it, I got
If
it.
you don't know it, buy it because it's awesome.
I got it. Okay.
I spent all my childhood playing this game, and I love it because you need to have technique. So when I was playing that game, so you have all the continent, they give you cards, you put your troop, you need to move and conquer the world. And the best way to conquer the world is to conquer Australia first, because Australia, you protect all Asia, and you enter through America, and you conquer all America, and then South America, and the world is yours. So all my childhood, I was like, get Australia, get Australia first, and then you conquer the world. And it's happening, because I'm getting Australia first, and then I'm going to conquer the world, jumping from Asia, entering from North America. It's going to be great.
And I think the name is pretty apparent for what you're doing.
It's Risk.
You've plenty of risk. Flavia, thank you for coming
Thanks
here.
for having me.
I've had a pleasure. It's been a blast. You've been exactly how you are every single time I've spoken to you. So nothing has changed at all. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
I'm so looking forward to seeing what you do with regards to space and seeing things being launched here in South Australia. That'd be a great thing. I'm so looking forward to going for a fly in this car that you're going to hook up. And more importantly, it's really great to see you succeeding and excelling and killing it in South Australia and Adelaide. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.